Upon seeing the title of this video, you might think, I don't need this tutorial. It's Google Slides. Google Slides is one of the most basic slideshow programs out there. You have like 5 functions. Insert an image/shape. Adjust proportions of image/shape. You can make image/shape move. You can insert text, and you can change the background. What more do you need? But despite these 5 basic functions, Google Slides is a lot deeper than that. Or I should say, those 5 functions are a lot deeper than that. One of these, I said, was animation. And now, when you think of Google Slides and animation, you might think of something like that, or that, or that, or that. Sometimes if you're spicy, they might throw in that. And once in a blue moon, you'll see a spin. Now, these are technically animations. Yeah, the images are moving, but they're very limited. The fly in and fly out let you move, but only in 4 directions, and you can't get from point A to point B unless point A or B is off screen. And the rotations, you basically only get full rotation or no rotation. You also can't choose the point of rotation. It's always from the middle of the shape. Today, I'm going to at least attempt to teach you how to overcome these limitations on animation. The first will be basic movement. Let's say you want to get to point A from point B without point A being in a straight line from point B and also being visible. Seems like it's not too much to ask, but if you ask Google Slides animation, it is. Now, I overcome this in a very robust way, but it still works. Now, as you could probably tell, because the numbers on the ball changed, the first ball is not the same as the second ball, is not the same as the last ball. So, you can probably already guess where I'm going, but if you make this ball disappear with previous as this ball appears, you can make it so that it looks like it shifts rather than just goes away and comes back, or goes away and doesn't come back. So with this, you can get a very limited 10 frames per second because Google Slides lets you transition once every 0.1 seconds. Now, this is very slow, but if you're persistent, you definitely can work with this, which is why I call this a Tryhard's guide. Now, what you have to do is have the first ball disappear, and with previous, the second ball appears, and then second ball disappear while third appears. It's a lot easier if you can tell when you select an animation and you see the ball highlights to keep track of what you're making disappear versus appear, and after a while you get into the rhythm of it. And don't forget, for maximum frames, to make it 0.1 instead of just 0, because then you won't get any frames. The next problem was rotations. You can only do it around one point, and that's the center, and after that, it goes all the way around no matter what. Now, the solution I came up with for this is a lot more elegant than the other 10 frames per second one. For this one, it looks a lot smoother, and it's a lot easier. Now, for this one, all you really need is a couple animations. So first, to offset the point of rotation, you just have something else that's equally as long. Well, the easiest way to get something equally as long is to copy-paste reflect and just put it on the end. And that will make this the new center while this remains invisible, so it looks like the point of rotation is here instead of the center of this object. Now, to make it so that you could only go a part way of the rotation, all you have to do is have disappear with previous, but set it on a timer. Now, it's pretty proportional on how long the spin is versus how long you need to make the disappear. This one is around 0.8, and this one is 0.2, so it only goes 90 degrees because that's how you divide by 4. Now, after that, you're not done. It still disappeared, but you want it. So have this in the position where it can look like when it's done. Now this one I already deleted the other invisible arrow, but all you would have to do is take this, right click, copy, paste, align it, and then you can right click, rotate counterclockwise 90 degrees, and that's basically it. And then you just delete the arrow like I already did, and you should be done. Then you have to animate it with previous again, so that it's the same exact timer, so that when this disappears, this appears, and it looks like one smooth motion. It should look something like that. Instead of looking at limitations, let's look at the possibilities. With Google Slides, basic animations, you can still do some things like shoot an arrow from a bow. Pretty simple. It's one motion, yet you can fit so many smaller motions inside of it. For example, this single spark, which is on screen for about a second, has 6 entire animations. 3 when it comes in, fade, spin, zoom, and 3 when it goes out. Zoom out, fade out, and spin again. On top of that, we have the string going from drawn back to released. Of course, after that, you have the actual arrow leaving the bow, and these speed lines. Now, these speed lines, there's also more to it than meets the eye. For example, you wouldn't have speed lines on an object where the object never was, would you? So you have to have this specific block. So we want the speed lines to start here, since that's where the arrow starts leaving the bow, because it would not make sense if there were speed lines here and the arrow had never been there. So instead of just having them simply fly on screen, fly off screen, the speed lines were set to be behind this so that when the animation played, they would not seem like they existed, because this block blends in with the background until the arrow has left this point in which the speed lines appear and it looks like regular physics has ensued. And in case you missed it, I'll play it again. As you can see, speed lines did not exist past this point. By the way, if you can guess this song, I guess I'll give you a shout out and my firstborn son.
その声が聞こえたなら自然と笑顔になっちゃう私たち